the High Court in Pretoria has ordered that accused number 3 in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial be released from solitary confinement. Mthobisi Mncube has spent 4 years in isolation at the CIMEX section of the Kgosi Mampuru prison. He filed an urgent application alongside accused number 5, Fisokuhle Ntuli. Now, let's remind you that 5 men are on trial for allegedly murdering the soccer star in 2014. Let's get some detail now around this. Veronica Makhoali has been watching that story today. Veronica, good afternoon to you. So let's understand, firstly, the basis upon which Mthobisi Mncube made this application or filed this application, which succeeded, and why did it not succeed for Fisokuhle Ntuli?
Sure. Well, this simply stems from the urgent application that was filed at the Pretoria High Court. In fact, Mncube was seen as applicant number 1 who approached the court essentially explaining the dire situation and really painting a bleak situation in regards to his incarceration at the CIMEX at Kgosi Mampuru prison, talking about the fact that he's been held in solitary confinement, speaking about the fact that he only has he spends about 22 hours in a day in this single cell by himself. Spoke about the issue of the fact that he has no contact with his family, only able to speak to his family for about 10 minutes, very often and not enough, seeing his legal team maybe for about 2 hours in a month. And so these dire conditions that he brought forward said essentially that the prisoner is facing what he said was a deplorable condition that was causing feelings of hopelessness, of fear, of insomnia. And so this is when he approached the court to say that this needs to be declared as unlawful. And you would remember as well that he was arrested and put at Kgosi Mampuru prison since December 2020. And so after 4 years in those conditions, he in fact suffered a mental breakdown. And this is what we heard coming in from court today. And so as the judge went through these conditions, he began to, sort of nitpick at some of these conditions and asking the Correctional Service Department themselves to say if an inmate had brought these issues forward about their treatment at a facility, about the state of their mental health. The judge believed that the Correctional Service Department did not do enough to investigate these claims and also ensure that he had a better living condition, one might say, in prison.
Let's understand key differences here, Veronica. So, Mr. Mncube, is this his first brush with the law since his arrest, as you say, 4 years ago, or is he already a prisoner serving multiple life terms, much like Fisokuhle Ntuli? Because I'm trying to understand the difference between the two. Why was he successful in his application versus Fisokuhle Ntuli, whom we know at the time of their arrest, he was already a prisoner serving multiple life terms for murder?
So what we do know, and this is specifically why as well the Correctional Service Department denied these sort of conditions that he was living in and the solitary confinement, is that the Correctional Service Department had in fact characterized Mncube as a high-risk prisoner. Hence, he was put in this solitary confinement. But the issue, of course, then, Colin, what we heard in court during the judgment was the fact that he had been in that state, in that condition in prison for more than 18 months. We heard, in fact, that the standard operating procedure for the Kgosi Mampuru prison is that if a prisoner is in prison or in that solitary confinement for 18 months or more, at some point they should be released as part of a program to reintroduce the prisoner back into the general population, one might say, to change behavior and not as a punitive measure. And so the judge then ruled on this. And to speak to that question specifically, to say why was Mncube then kept in this condition and why was his application granted? Well, the simple fact is that of this reason that he was a high-risk prisoner, of course, facing trial in a high-profile case. And the judge himself said that shouldn't be an issue, that shouldn't matter in this matter. But let's have a listen to what he had to say to speak to that.
Should the first applicant continue to be detained in these circumstances, not only may his mental health be at risk, his further incarceration will be unlawful, and I would be allowing an ongoing wrong to be perpetrated. The first applicant's further incarceration beyond the 18-month period will likely result in irreparable harm to the first applicant.
Veronica Makhoali, thank you very much for the time being. It is an ongoing trial. It's just one leg of what is a much bigger trial going on. So thank you very much for clarifying that for us here today.